Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer, and I'm on a quest for England. During the lockdown, not so easy, so I can only really go on these walks in my local area and show you the things that I'm allowed on one of my permitted walks. Now, in a previous video, I took a stroll from Sompting Old Village, which is just north of Worthing, where I live, and up to this church, St Mary's. This is separated from the old village now because the A27, the main road that runs from Portsmouth, I suppose, all the way to Eastbourne, cuts through the village. But we're at the church, and it's got this Rhinehelm tower that you see before me. And I'm going to take a stroll, just first of all through some of the grounds of this church, which I have done before on a separate walk, which is a beautiful church and actually has Saxon elements in it. And whilst there's the opportunity, I'm just going to go up to the north side of the church, which actually I've never seen before. Let's just have a quick look. There's some seats here so that people can sit, and let's just turn the camera around and have a look up here at the tower with its very tiny little louvered windows. The churches are all shut at the moment, of course, because of the crisis and the virus that's spreading the country like wildfire, but the church yards are open, and a place like this with these chairs, these lovely benches, can give respite for people, particularly those who are religious and can't go into the church and want to commune with their God. They can do that in the churchyard and feel that they are as close as they can be, I guess, to the altar. I'm not a religious person, but I very much respect people who have a belief, and I'm particularly fascinated by church buildings because they represent, from their, especially the old ones, in their thousands of years that they've been here, well, up to 1,000 years, they represent the life of the community. I'm strolling down here to a public footpath, which I have been on before, but I'm going to turn off this footpath on a turning which takes me up a bit over the downs, which is something that I haven't been able to do for a long time, and I'm feeling my absence of the downs very profoundly. So we're going to come down through this little gap, which must have been on a route in the old days that locals would have used to get to church from their humbler cottages. It's nice to hear the bird song, which I haven't really had much chance to do for some time, and track along a track like this. Now, I guess those people who live close to this area and interested in walking, or they take their dogs out, they will have access to all of this. But what's been handy for me is that on Question Time this week, Matt Hancock, the Health Secretary, was asked whether it was possible for people to go in their car a very short journey to get to the edge of places like this into the country so that they can walk, and he said it was okay. So that's the reason on these walks I am coming out into the country today. I've just turned, as you saw, behind me the metropolis of Worthing, and this little footpath should just take me up. Now, I'm not going to abuse the freedom to get out, and actually I can't, because I am very busy. I've never been busier since this lockdown in trying to create content for people who are trapped. It's important for me to get out and explore the land, and particularly present these walks so that those people who are locked down, who are already infirm and couldn't get out anyway, have a glimpse of what life is like without having to look at mainstream media and all the negative news that's pouring out. Going along this hedgerow here, which I think must be Blackthorn because it's in bloom. I didn't realise that Blackthorn was quite as prevalent. I very much associate hedgerows with hawthorn, but I do love it. There's a gate here that says private property, no public right of way. Fair enough, and I'm not going in there. I don't know if you can see in the distance, very strange Gothic looking building. That's Sompting Abbot, the school, preparatory school, and I have made a video on that actually. It's quite useful, I suppose, to remind people of some of the videos. I've got quite an archive now of videos that I've made, and it's quite useful just to put the links in because people often don't look at the archive, and you know, when I can think of the videos it gives you something else to look at. Come round here. We've got a gate here which you would think you could go in. Again, private, no right of way, which is fair enough. All these lovely Blackthorn, of course, they have been planted. This must be hawthorn because it's yet to come in. So you've got Blackthorn there, which is out at the moment, hawthorn here, and I'm guessing the hedges up here in front of me, these must be a mixture of hawthorn and some Blackthorn, so that in May, traditionally, it will look fantastic. And actually they've got some holly. It's so lovely to see the mixture here, holly, Blackthorn behind, more holly, and hawthorn there looking down. I tell you, I cannot tell you how wonderful it is to be able to just get out onto the downs. And if it wasn't for the fact that as I record this, I'm also doing live readings on my channel. You may have seen them. It's not always obvious actually. On the web page there's a live tab, and you can see where I do my live readings, and I usually do those at about 9:30 in the morning, so I'm hoping that I can get back in time either to continue that or in the future push them back so that I can come out, if we're still allowed, to take that small journey to the edge of the downs and bring you more countryside. I'm just aware that I've been giving a lot of urban walks, which some people have enjoyed, and it's been certainly good to get out. But I'm going to get up to the top of this hill now. Here we see the countryside behind you. And I've needed to do this walk. You can hear how out of breath I am. It's amazing, 2 weeks and not doing proper walks, and the body is becoming lazy. Now walking parallel with Worthing behind me along the top of this ridge, or the top of this hill, and the other side we see more of the tantalising countryside. We'll just come up beyond this bank here to look north, and in the very great distance, which I think will just be a tiniest of smudge, is Chantonbury Ring. And if I carry on, so I'll do a little bit more, I will come to a lane which comes up, goes past a farm. I forget the name of the farm now, I've been up there before, and it will take me on a walk which will eventually join up, I think, with the South Downs Way. Oh, and here, I guess, I'm not sure where it comes through, but the Rampion offshore wind farm cables come through here. 150 kilovolts, high voltage cable. I'm tempted to think that's what's powering the fence, but I don't think it is. Worthing waking up, light just glistening off some of the larger, taller buildings, and as we have the sun rising and walking parallel now, heading westwards, and in the far distance we have, just trying to work out what those hills are. I don't think that's too far away, I think, for Salvington Hill. It looks like it's much further in the gloom. Again, it's just going to be a grey smudge. But the sun now actually shining through the clouds. It is such a sad situation that here we are in this rather lovely spring after that awfully damp winter, that we've all been locked down and can't go out. Sign coming up directing us the direction. There's a novelty telling us that we can go up here. You can see the tractor marks on this track where clearly the farmer comes along. On this path we've got holly, quite large holly trees, and we've got, I think in there is some alder and lots of brambles. And this is absolutely beautiful now because we're leaving the roar of the A27, which I was still able to pick up, and start to get ourselves out into the beautiful countryside. And here it is. Isn't that amazing? And this is so much more appreciated, I think, now that people can't go into it. So much more important that we relish it, keep it, protect it, look after it, and don't build on it. This nature, this world, this England. I hear horses, but I can't see them. Oh, I see them. Behind this hedge, horses, white horses, galloping freely. I can't see them though. Wait, there's a hole in the hedge. Am I cheeky enough to look through? Can't really get in there. There might be another hole in the hedge that we can have a little peek into. Oh, here we go. As I say, I'm a nosy bugger. I'll just get through here and just have a little look, if I can work out how to do that. There we go. They are in the distance. It's a bit naughty of me, I suppose. You hear the crunch of the dead wood. And so far I've seen no one. Another sign up ahead, which is lovely to see. Oh, and we might be able to, there's an entrance into the farm where the horses are. Just have a quick look here, see if we can catch them. There they are, look. Electric fence, how marvellous. I'm not going to go and disturb them, but they do look very beautiful. And behind me, such an idyllic vision of England and the countryside on the hill that we're at. Look at that vista there. Isn't it amazing? And the crows, or the rooks, I know in the distance you might just see that little road. That's part of the road that goes up to Stenning, as I mentioned. Can't remember if it was in the previous video or this video, that when I crossed the A27 to the church. This is a beautiful bit of countryside, and I'm going to come back and I will continue this walk. But that's it for today, I'm sorry to say. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to come back and walk further. I'm going to check that it's okay and it's permitted, but you can see how isolated at the moment the countryside is, and how beautiful and how actually health-giving it is to get out, provided you're not touching fence posts and gates and things, and you know, that sort of thing, and potentially passing on the disease. These farmers have got very important work to do, and they don't want to catch it. So we don't want to spread the virus, but it is absolutely so good for our mental health to get out and see nature. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up, and I will come back here on another occasion. What a beautiful day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye. They're rooks. They're rooks.